No more that you can give away and try to correct for in the next game. This is it. The split for both teams could end right here. If Liquid walks away with a win, we'll see 100 Thieves continue to ban away that Tahm Kench. They're going to ban away the Trundle as well. They're not playing against that here again.
Blue side Trundle ban, that is bad news for the series here because TL, they were the ones who banned it in game 1 when they were on red side. So 100 Thieves are showing they're not going to first pick that Trundle there for Meteos.
Meteos not as interested in the Trundle as we saw Xmithy be there in game number 2. Very successful on it as well. We saw a lot of good pillars, a lot of big ultis that enabled the picks to come through. Liquid will ban out the Swain and the Gangplank again now. We'll see none of those this series.
I just expect it's because they're looking for more for Cody's son in the draft phase early.
Again, though, there's still a lot of questions surrounding the mid lane here. Pobelter has performed extremely well. They talked about it a bit on the analyst test. It's not just, oh, that big flashy play that he made. The pressure that he's outputting on Ryu have taken away a lot of options for 100 Thieves.
Ooh, and the Cassio ban instead of the Azir ban, so this means that they're most likely going to go for something like Ryze in their second phase here and kind of cut off that counter of the Cassio that you would pick early on. But this might just be leaving Zion Rakan up again, which we saw in game 1, not in game 2. We'll see if TL kind of bite that one.
Team Liquid will ban out Olaf as that last ban. Xmithy has not played Olaf yet at all this split. They're not interested in grabbing it for themselves. They know Meteos plays it, so they'll just remove it from the pool as the Thieves go for Caitlyn before anything else.
But now that the Caitlyn's been taken, the Skarner should be given over to Xmithy if Team Liquid would like to take that one from Meteos. We know that Meteos has this huge preference for the champion. That is going to be the cost of this Caitlyn, of 100 Thieves, putting their comeback in the hands of Cody's son.
And to be honest, I actually kind of like this or okay with this for Meteos because his Skarner wasn't able to find a lot of viability in the last 2 games. The agency was very low for him. So something like a Zac, the classic for him going back, is something I would expect to see here from Meteos so that he has that long engage range. And one of the guys who's a big shot caller and big leader for the team alongside Afromu, I'm looking for the engage here because they're the ones who need to step up when it's triple match point.
I mean, Team Liquid playing these hyper carries in both the mid lane and the bottom lane. This will be the 3rd game now we see them use this Azir for Pobelter. It's just been impossible for Meteos' Skarner to get back there and find those value pulls. This time around, he's going to be on the Sejuani. He's going to have some more reach with those ultimates and those engages, and we'll see how that works out for him here.
Yeah, with the Sejuani, you're going to be a little bit behind as far as the clear speed and the rush to level 6. So you have to get a little creative in how your team wants to work around the slight difference in the level 6 power spike.
Yeah, typically forces the Azir to go cleanse in the mid lane so he can't have a second summoner spell that really affects the laning phase. But also another thing to look out for is that the Sejuani's reach and double lift, I would be surprised. The Jhin is something that he picked up, showed off against Cloud9, and it was fantastic.
Talked to a bunch of AD carries actually, and they all talked about how good double lifts Jhin actually is. Whereas a lot of people are like, oh, I don't do much damage to tanks. Double lift always seems to have the extra pressure. He did show it off, as you said, previously in playoffs, and gonna be at the wheel once again.
Locked in here today, but it is an immobile AD carry. So if Xmithy can't possibly start things off with a good grab for his team, that leaves an opportunity for Meteos to find some of that CC onto double lift to get things going for the Thieves.
And one of the things about the theory of the Jhin into Caitlyn is the Jhin setup for ganks and the Jhin, play creation. Basically, you have this long-range ultimate, you have W snares that you can try and use, and you want to punish the Caitlyn in the mid-game where she has that little dip. In lane phase, she has the extra range. It starts out very strong, but until she gets the crit multipliers through, Jhin will have an area of the game with a little bit more influence.
And another thing I keep hearing about is Jhin plus Ornn. If you can get that combination, the engage is just insane. So expecting that as the ban here.
80 carries, mid laners, junglers. Symmetrical draft so far between the teams. That means it's top laners and supports that we're going to see targeted in the bans, and 100 Thieves picking up exactly what you're talking about there, Zyrene, saying we don't want anything to do with the Jhin-Ornn combination. They'll ban that one away.
And now I would expect Cho'Gath potentially, because TL have just been showing they don't want to deal with some days Cho'Gath. It allows him to steal objectives. It allows them to secure objectives faster. And 100 Thieves on these Barons, they have been a bit deciding this series.
Yeah, it's been insane. Xmithy for a long time, for most of his career, has been so good with those smites. So if you don't have your 1,000 true damage feast to steal it away from him, then good luck.
Well, That luck is what they'll probably need a little bit of this game, because with the Cho'Gath banned away, that is one of those comfort picks the Thieves will not be able to fall back to. Sion, the final ban for 100 Thieves here in Game 3. Liquid once again thinking about maybe denying that Braum from Afromu, but thinking also about the Camille.
Yeah, it's very interesting that they decide to try and take all of the tanks away from Impact here. We've seen teams try and ban so many against him, even though he still has shown things like the Singed.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised because things like Shen are now on the table, and those affect the bottom lane. I think a Shen would be a very good pick here for either team to come through.
100 Thieves will have to pick their last two champions here and leave room for Liquid to have that red side last pick, counter pick opportunity. Thieves will not be able to grab the Braum for Afromu, but they'll go with another big playmaker instead. Afromu on the Thresh for match point.
We'll see if he can make the change that 100 Thieves need. The other thing being on blue side here, you're going to have to early pick the matchup for someday, so you can't wait for the Shen and then try with your counter, with your Darius or whatever you're trying to push with. He's just going to have to go with something more versatile so that he's not boxed in.
Yeah, the neutral pick of the Gnar just for some lane presence. It is some days most played throughout the split. We'll see, because Comfort now, 100 Thieves, if that's what they're going for, it's what they need in spades here. Ryu, once again, on that rise, someday on that most played Gnar, and Afromu on a playmaker with the support Thresh.
And it does show the possibilities of 100 Thieves trying to play towards a 1-3-1 composition with a Gnar if you can get him ahead and a Rise in the side lanes. But with the hovers right now, Impact was saying, you think I could play only tanks, huh? Okay,
well, here's another new tank. I can't just play tanks, I can play more tanks, baby. Maokai locked in for the top lane for Team Liquid
and
Impact, to be that front line.
Impact, it goes way back in history. Everybody knows about his Maokai, but he has not played a single game of Maokai this split, whipping it out here in the finals. He always has that thing kind of polished in his back pocket, ready to pull it out when it's necessary.
I mean, we talked about the pocket pick for Ole and the Morgana, playing it even when it's not meta, doing that in game number 2. Now we're seeing Impact do the same thing with the Maokai here in game number 3. Team Liquid trusting its players, even though these picks may not be top priority according to the global rankings or whatever metric you want to measure them by. They're saying, this works for us, let's play that game.
Exactly. Whether it's something where you're comfortable on, but also you're picking for the team. If he picks something like Camille, it may not be to his strengths, but it's a stronger counter to Gnar. He says, I don't need the counter. It's time to play for the team, which TL has been doing all split long, especially that second half.
I would say that Maokai is a slower moving tank than, the Sion with the ultimate coming through, or the long-range Ornn ultimate. And Team Liquid have shown this propensity for heavy travel time, having everybody moving around the map to create the plays. So that might slow the game down a tiny bit.
Well, Liquid have done it twice so far today, and if they find one more win here, that will be it. They will be the Spring Split champions, and they would love to do it in the style of a clean sweep. But 100 Thieves could go for the biggest dream of all and start the reverse sweep journey here. But they've got to flip that switch into the on position. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The time is now. There are no more chances.
And no matter what happens, history will be made.
New flag to fly in the battle arena, a new name to add to the list of TSM, Cloud9, and Counter Logic Gaming on the exclusive list of those who have managed to put a North American LCS championship title under their belt.
Yeah, you gotta have a banner to be in the Champions Club. And one of these two teams will join it, but TL right now, large advantage. Right, in terms of like 2 games up, that has to weigh on 100 Thieves mentally, but also for yourself, it allows you to take more risks, to go for more kind of bravado-esque plays.
100 Thieves will defend the entrance to their own jungle right now in the bottom side. Team Liquid trying to push up into this territory. Remember, with Skarner on the map, you always have those spires to fight over.
And on the top side, it looks like they're just trying to take that one spire for themselves with Someday and Meteos. And maybe Spot, yeah, if Someday sticks around, he may see Xmithie, and he'll see him on the top side.
Yeah, we will have no level 1 invade this time around. No 4-minute red buff taken.
Meteos is saying, look, guys, I love setting Cody Sun up as much as anybody does, but being level 1 at 3.5 minutes into the game felt pretty bad, so we're going to skip out on this one this time.
Yeah, but in fact, they actually make it so Cody Sun and Afromu are a little late to that bottom lane, so Double Lift and Ole, you expect them to have the push advantage for level 2.
Yeah, coming in there with Caitlyn, though. Cody's son going to be able to dodge out the first Q from Ole, and they don't miss any minions. We'll be there just in time.
Cody's son, we've talked so much about this guy being the rookie in the middle of a bunch of veterans and a ton of experience between these two rosters, and how that doesn't matter when this team puts so much faith in him. And if there's ever a time to step up and prove yourself, it's now.
This is his third split, his second championship, but in the face of all these veterans, like you said, he does seem like the rookie here, but they trust him. They give him so much in terms of resources. They first picked his Caitlyn here, said, we're gonna set you up. And Aframu alongside him just always tries to make it happen. Has a large percentage of his team's damage, 40% with all their games.
And Aframu, this playmaker, this guy who a lot of times in the Thieves wins, you're looking at those support plays that he makes as, okay, that is why they won right there. You can go through a highlight reel of this guy's plays. On a Thresh, that's the kind of champion you can do that on here in Game 3.
Yeah, what that would look like would be either a hook pulling them onto a Caitlyn trap. You always want to coordinate your crowd control abilities. You can also play them. You have to be very careful, though, because of the movements that Thresh's abilities have towards your opponents. The Caitlyn has to expect those and coordinate with the Thresh to be able to get those two combo. If they do, though, it will be devastating.
So a hook fly out there, barely missed double lift, just grazed past him a little bit. The very end of that hook hitbox is a little bit wider than the rest of it. So double lift just a step closer, might have got grabbed, but he's respecting what Aframu can do. He's played with this guy too much to not respect him at this point.
Definitely a lot of mutual respect among all the players in this game. One of the most experience-packed games. Tons of stage experience on both sides. But we were just about to talk about the top side and how Someday is whittling down Impact. Yes, he has the minion wave pushed up, and Impact has already had to use his potion. Smithy now is top side, but revealed by the ward, so Someday shouldn't overextend.
Yeah, and if Someday does push up, though, he'll have the Mega Gnar, and Meteos is also on this side. But look at that. Transform!
Impact's in some trouble, looking to get away. Someday barely misses out on the kill.
Just by the tail there, it gets away.
But Meteos is here. Meteos is thinking, okay, I might be able to grab him here. Meteos stopping Xmithy, preventing this counterattack from Team Liquid. Can they go in, find the kill? One more auto attack will do it. That's first blood over to Someday, and it might be second as well.
Oh my goodness!
Impact is stunned up. Chopped down this tree. A double kill for Someday.
Oh, the top lane power of Someday using the Gnar, whittling down Impact. They get the jungle kill, and then the teleport is completed by Impact in the middle of the lane.
He is going to be so behind off that, and Someday with both kills, with his TP still up, might be able to take over this game.
The rally coming just in the nick of time for 100 Thieves as they start this one out with a huge difference maker. You think right there, oh, that just barely got away from them. Someday's going to be so disappointed, but he runs back into the bush here. Meteos is already waiting for the counter. They bait in Smithy, and they get the chase down. Immediately flashes to continue.
That was such a great flash from Meteos as well. He got the second part of his W to actually give the fourth stack there onto the Skarner to get the stun. Last game, we saw that Meteos was going towards the bottom side a bit. The flash was blown top. He wasn't really going towards that top side. It looked like he maybe should have gone after Impact more, and he's doing it this game.
Being where he was great foresight from Meteos there, playing towards that top side, and even towards the end of the split for 100 Thieves, when the story about this team was so much Cody Afro, Cody Afro, Cody Afro, they're saying, okay, we're going to play towards Someday. We're going to show you that we've got a bullet in both barrels, and we can fire from either one.
Exactly, that's the one they can pull out when they're really kind of desperate. We saw when the Darius was picked. You can't just leave that alone. They camped for it, and right now this Gnar is set up for success.
Ryu now roams up on Rise. He's level 6. They close in on the level 4 at Impact.
No teleports available to help Impact here. The slam back in the wall. More chain CC coming through. Impact taken low. Someday taken lower. Meteos comes up now as well. Impact will buy as much time as he can. But it's 1 for 1. Too much greed from Someday.
Oh, Someday walks back in there, even though Meteos also came up. So that was all these members of 100 Thieves focusing on the top side to continue to try and kill Impact. In the end, they give up bottom side control. Smithy's trying to take away this dragon.
man.
The Drake by Skarner, that's a big thing. We talked about how he can solo it. That would be a nice consolation prize for Liquid there. But 100 Thieves is going off on this top part of the map with the focus.
Yeah, going off on the top side of the map, setting up Sunday. He just used his TP to get back, has a very large CS lead, almost 20 up. But right now, they're going to try to counter on the bottom side. Here comes Xmithy.
Xmithy going in, Ole using the flash, Cody Sun using his own, looking to get away here, popping the heal. And when the fracture misses, the play is done. Cody walks away.
Yeah, Smithy doesn't have his flash, and he also doesn't have the level 6, so they can't continue it. But double summoners have been blown from Cody Sun. Take another look at the top lane play here, and we can go over how Someday went back in.
No, we
Just
can't.
kidding.
Or we can watch another play being made onto Impact, who's got another visit from that enemy jungler. Going to be chased underneath. His tier 2 help is coming, but is it coming fast enough? It will be to make this a 1-for-1. Meteo's going to be turned into a nice sliced ham underneath the enemy turret, and Xmithy will grab himself a kill.
With this dying breath, Impact goes back in and knocks him closer to the turret for Smithy to be able to use the Skarner ultimate and pull him in for the counter kill. In the end, though, still, the top turret is going to fall, and 100 Thieves top side is getting out of control. We said in Champion Select the possibilities of a 1-3-1 strategy from 100 Thieves.
24 CS right now for Impact. Not only has he died 3 times, he hasn't been given enough breathing room to farm. This Thieves focus is out of control. Let's take a look again.
Meteos hit level 6, goes to the top side. He even has camps up in his own top side jungle. But Ryu is on his way. Ryu keeps kind of going towards this top side. If a play were to be reinforced, he will be in attendance. He is constantly doing this, and they are playing towards that top side. We thought it would be a bottom side focus. They're switching it up. They're going for the surprise game here, and they are destroying Impact.
And take a look on your screen right now. Can 100 Thieves push this into Game 4? Spam the chat, whether you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, wherever you happen to be enjoying these games from. Hit the chat with 100 win or TL win right now to let us know what you think is going to happen at the end of this one. We'll be tracking those votes and seeing exactly how it plays out. But 100 Thieves are off to their best start yet in this series. 2,500 gold up, 9 minutes in.
2,500 gold, and pretty much all of that is on Someday in the top lane there. He's also potentially having a freeze towards him because he had bounced it off of the turret correctly when he dropped it. He waited, let it kill all the minions.
Now, when you're faced with a freeze like this against a super fed opponent, you have no chance of going up to them. You have 2 options. You can either roam to the other side of the map to play, or Someday actually pushes it forward and Double F opens up.
The curtain call is out. Cody Sun looking to get away. Pobelter with another great shuffle. Cody Sun is down. Aframu likely to follow the deadly flourish from downtown, and Pobelter grabs the second.
Pobelter with the alley-oop here shoves him right into range of the ultimate from Double F, who lands the 4-shot there. They secure the kills, and the bottom side of the map is now Team Liquid's power play.
Liquid says, you want to go towards the top side? Fine. We're going to play towards the bottom side. This is how we find our wins, and they get 2.
And this was all orchestrated off the fact that they were handing the blue buff off to Ryu. They know that Meteos is on the top side. They know Ryu's on the top side, and that allows Pobelter to roam and get to that bottom side before any answer can come through.
But now that big lead for 100 Thieves. Someday in the mid lane, pushing that one down as Team Liquid continues to push towards this tier 1. They may need to get away very soon. Ryze ulti going to be coming through. Ryu shows up, forced to immediately flash back, but it's Xmithy who's got the punish on 100 Thieves mid laner. Ole barely getting himself away from this one. They won't be able to catch him out and punish him. Pobelter coming in from the side, and the Thieves have found themselves in a very precarious spot. They retreat, but they lose Ryu.
Ole actually survives that. Ryu takes his own realm warp and immediately has to flash back out, but Smithy pulls him right back in for the kill.
It's just a better TP from Impact. He's been shut down all game. He gets some TP off here afterwards, but this is the kills before. Pobelter was roaming after they handed off the blue buff on the other side. They catch Cody Sun with the shots and the shuffle, and then they get both, and they get to pressure the bottom, but the scene of the crime, it happens again. The TP comes through. There is no answer from Sunday because he can't actually lay one down right now.
Yeah, Someday was trying to walk with the team. You know, all of 100 Thieves were roaming down here, but a couple of seconds apart, whereas all of Team Liquid grouped up. So the 3-man squad here just strikes immediately. They get the kill, and even though Impact is down like 30 CS, his teleport screens enough time for them to grab that kill.
And just as we were talking earlier about how 100 Thieves is 2,500 gold up, it's their best start yet. Liquid immediately responds and equalizes. The turrets are tied, the gold is close, and this team is still fighting back.
All right, so for 100 Thieves, they're the ones down 2-0 in this series. They need to continue to play to their strengths if they want this series to continue. They've got a fed Gnar. Someday can create tons of pressure in the side lane for them to work off of.
And so right now, what you would expect them to do is potentially play for a Rift Herald around it. He has Black Cleaver completed. You can shove that top lane wave up to the tier 2, give yourself a lot of space, and go for a Rift Herald for 100 Thieves. But the Infernal Drake is on the table in 40 seconds, so they've kind of missed that window here.
Those Infernals can be so important. Again, Team Liquid, full Drake control this series. It's Impact who's in some trouble right now, but he's got backup coming, and Someday needs to get the hell out of town. As Xmithie shows up here, doesn't land the Fracture, gets thrown back by the Mega Gnar, still gonna be chain CC'd. The damage comes through, the ult is down, and despite the lead, Someday is out of there.
3 members from Team Liquid head top, and there's still 12 seconds left on the Drake before it spawns, so they have plenty of time to actually correct after the commitment there. That is a huge stopper.
A great call from Team Liquid. Thieves cannot immediately punish. They're thinking about maybe trying to set something up down here now, but Team Liquid has rotated everybody down. Just like you said, they had the time to move towards the Drake pit, and it's Someday who's still dead for another few seconds. TP is up, though.
Exactly, he has TP, but because Impact doesn't, he's already in attendance. There's no ultimate for Xmithie or Impact. If you want to fight this as 100 Thieves, this is one of the better fights that you might be able to take.
TP's being channeled, but it's going to be a little bit late. 100 Thieves still thinking about it. They're not able to go in for the Drake. They do land the ultimate down on the Doublelift, but there's no way to get to him. And 100 Thieves just end up spending the teleport to get nothing. Liquid maintains perfect Drake control.
They are left with a little bit of mid pressure here as they push up the wave. Team Liquid trying to get in place to defend, and it looks like they might even chase him off.
Someday being jumped on there by the Twisted Advance from Impact. Deadly Flourish coming in as well, but he walks himself away. Turret so incredibly low on health here. But 100 Thieves just doesn't have enough gas in the tank to finish it off. Let's take another look at this top lane play.
Yeah, it was just a great roam here from all of Team Liquid. And Someday he has the flash, but decides not to spend it here, says he's just buying enough time, and they would just come after him anyway.
That was a goofy looking mini Gnar.
Yeah, he was just changing a big head.
Quite. I didn't actually realize he ballooned up that big when he transformed back and forth, but apparently that's a thing. Doesn't matter how big he is, though, they still brought him down, and Team Liquid is in a spot where they're so close in gold. They're actually likely ahead in terms of stats when you factor in what they've got in the Cloud Drake and the Infernal Drake. And now we're heading into the mid game. It's just about 15 minutes. This is where this team can start to look really scary.
Also Infernal Drake, plus it's on a Jhin, the best user of it in the entire game. So that gold will lie to you a little bit. I believe TL is a bit more ahead.
As great as the start for 100 Thieves was in this game, Team Liquid, again, with insane dragon control. They've got the Infernal and Cloud, and they've got themselves right back in to an even position now. So it's Team Liquid looking to actually pressure. If we check in on the wards and the vision here, they're the ones pressing in and going into 100 Thieves territory.
Team Liquid looking for this tier 1 turret. They managed to land some CC, some damage down onto Afromu, who still wants to hang around. Got Meteos with him to try to clear out some of these waves. Death Sentence won't find anyone. Meteos still going forward, throwing out the flail to clear the minions out. Turret just as low on the side of the Thieves as it is on Liquid.
And this is just so fluid from Liquid because 100 Thieves set up 1-3-1. Ryu on the top side with TP, and then they have their Gnar Someday on the bottom side, who's been doing so well this game, but the 1-3-1 pressure hasn't been able to result in much. They're collapsing.
Ryu wants to get out of here. He knows that his opponents are coming for him. He does manage to make the escape in time.
Yeah, they communicate that there is a possible roam from the Skarner and the Braum to head up there, so he doesn't take the fight with Azir, gets himself out, and they've got a little bit more time.
That time will be spent pushing out waves in mid lane, just constantly having this battle back and forth, this pendulum swinging of whose turret's going to drop first, who's going to accidentally let just a little bit too much slide and give the AD carry a couple of shots.
Yeah, I think there's a little more pressure on TL because on the bottom side, they also have the kind of inevitability of that Gnar will get to this turret. This Gnar will deal some chip damage to it. So TL have to defend both their mid and their bottom turrets, whereas right now 100 Thieves really only have to care too much about their mid turret.
And Cody's son is there. He's just trying to scale up on the Caitlyn, get some crit multipliers for his Infinity Edge. Someday does have to blow his flash this time around, or maybe even just a little preemptively there as soon as he saw any danger coming.
He remembered what happened the last time he got collapsed on in a side lane. Didn't want it happening there again. Cody's son had to be careful a bit in mid lane as the Predator was used by Xmithy, trying to come in, find an opportunity to go after him there. No QSSs on either one of the carries for 100 Thieves. Want to make sure we point that out moving into this team fight phase, into the mid game. A big pull from Xmithy could just end a team fight outright.
Ooh, this right here is great from TL because there's no TP from Someday. He's going to have to walk all the way up if they even want to contest this, and by then it might already be gone.
If they do bite on this bait, then Impact could teleport behind here on one of these wards in the river. They do not take the bait, though, and Team Liquid will secure the objective.
100% neutral objective control by Team Liquid. Absolutely crazy by them this split. They have known how to play the map and control the rotations here.
Team Liquid, they have just been looking on point today. Everybody is playing well individually, but then when somebody kind of drops the ball, another person will step up to help them. Impact, he's basically been in a position where he's down half the CS of his lane opponent, but he keeps getting assistance. The team is behind everybody here. Afro is caught.
Afro move pulled away. There's no way he's tanky enough to survive that one. Xmithy drags him straight into the waiting arms of the rest of the team, and that's a freebie for Liquid.
Another kill here for Team Liquid, and that's going to mean some map pressure. They're all pinging on Rise now. Ryu's got to watch out.
Ryu doesn't have to worry about the Skarner ult. It was already expended, but there's a lot of damage, and CC still coming his way even without it. He's going to be locked down. Look at the turn things back around. Pobelter taken low. Ooh. Ryu doesn't quite have the damage, and Team Liquid gets another.
That was so close. That's one of those fights afterwards you go, whoa, just 1v1 me. What was that? But Pobelter, like we were saying, TL, everybody is helping each other out here.
Pobelter roams up with Smithy at his back. He's saving his ultimate, by the way, because the possibility of Rise escaping. So then he knows, all right, there's no Rise ultimate coming out now. I'm about to die. Uses it into the wall, barely lives.
Woo. That is a scary Rise when he can almost make that happen 1 versus 2. That side lane push, that's that split push pressure you were talking about, those Irene, the 1-3-1. That's why this composition is so scary if you let it get working like that. But Liquid's been doing a good job rotating around and punishing the split.
And you can tell that TL have practiced against a 1-3-1. They have prepared for this knowing it is 100 Thieves' go-to strategy because 1-3-1s will typically kind of pull teams apart. Here, they keep rotating appropriately.
They're setting a trap right now, though. Meteos deep in the bush here behind Impact. And Someday facing him down.
But they were careful. They knew that the rest of Liquid was hanging around in the jungle, and they would end up getting trapped.
He's still in the brush over there.
He's a very patient man, and he will patiently wait while the enemy team secures yet another Elemental Drake, because there's no way they can contest.
Patient man, patient pig.
I mean, I remember Meteos sitting in a bush for 3 minutes when he was playing Lee Sin back at Worlds. This man has patience in spades. He will wait forever to make a play like this happen if it'll break the game.
All right, Impact finally jumped on here, but he's still very close to his turret. Chilling Spike comes down. Meteos and Someday continue the chase, but now Meteos, all that more gold to Pobelter.
Oh, patience not such a virtue in this case. As they end up diving the turret, Smithy yoinks him even further in, and it just ends up in his death. That is crushing for 100 Thieves. The mentality right now, they're trying to rally, trying to hold strong, but Team Liquid have been just too good.
And now Meteos is 2 levels down in the jungle. Xmithy and Pobelter have just had a phenomenal series playing off each other. These guys won that Madison Square Garden Championship in 2015, and now they're looking for another.
Again, they're on to the Baron so very early, not even 21 minutes into the game. The Thieves know they have to stop this. Baron will go down, but the punish has got to be enormous. Someday walking away. Onto the front line goes Pobelter, not finding a lot with the shuffle this time around. Afro going to be sniped down. Ryu still looking to run away. Team Liquid in hot pursuit. They want to see if they can find anything, but they already got what they came for, and it's Baron on all 5.
Yep, they can reset with the Baron empowered recalls, collect all of the minion waves, and push once again towards the 100 Thieves base.
TL's neutral objective control has just been ridiculous in this series. They have gotten every single neutral objective in all 3 games. and to the point where they're like, we don't even know what to do with these anymore. Throws down the Rift Herald. This will help them with a push on a side lane, and then they can all group up and use that Baron buff.
Yeah, maybe they'll meet up with them later at the 100 Thieves base. Currently, though, Team Liquid sending most members down mid.
Pobelter is the Secret Service for Shelly, though. Got to protect her, make sure she gets where she needs to go, help take down that tier 1 turret.
Oh, they're all rotating. Everybody's joining the service.
We all know where this is going to lead. It'll be a battle somewhere in this top lane, likely not for the tier 1 because it's already gone. We'll see if the Thieves want to try to protect their tier 2 or if they just give that one away as well. Team Liquid will push further into Thieves territory on this. The soldiers put in position by Pobelter, ready to make a move if he can find it. Xmithy still looking for those pulls. That's another turret going down, no contest. Team Liquid takes every advantage and makes even more.
Well, they have Caitlyn traps to get through on this side, so they might want to rotate towards the mid lane. The last charge gonna go off.
Oh, Shelly makes her way into the turret before finally being taken down. She definitely did her job this time around.
Oh yeah, good night, sweet princess. And now they're gonna go towards that mid lane. Impact was already pushing it up. And this will be another turret for Team Liquid if they keep this siege up.
Turret dropping again. Want to point out what I said earlier. No QSSs on these carries. Xmithy has the flash available on the Skarner. One big pull could be what ends this game. Cannon minion firing away with the Baron buff onto the tier 2. It doesn't have a banner on it. There is no banner yet completed for the side of Team Liquid, so they don't have that advantage. But the notorious POB continuing that split push. Now going to fall back as he buys enough time for his team.
Yeah, they're not looking for that banner of command. They're looking for that championship banner here for Team Liquid.
Xmithy gets himself grabbed. Deadly Flourish comes out. Pobelter over the wall with some damage here. Bound up by the Rune Prison. Going to be taken down below half HP. Ryu ensuring he's not able to make his way into the fight. Death sentence only onto a caster minion. Xmithy still looking for that ult. Doublelift and the rest of Liquid will now fall back just a little bit. Pobelter still injured here. Despite all the Elemental Drake control they've had, Team Liquid still has no Ocean this game around. So there's not much regeneration there for Pobelter. He's got to be mindful.
They can stick around with the buff.
There goes Xmithy, able to go in, able to find the pull, destroys Ryu, and that's one of your carries already out of the picture. 100 Thieves in some trouble, going to be taken even lower. Afromu already taken down. It's a double for Doublelift, and the Thieves are triple. Liquid will look for the win right here.
24 minutes on the clock. This is one of the fastest series ever.
They are pushing on to Nexus turrets. They've still got 4 men strong. Pobelter went down, but they still seek the Nexus against Someday and Cody Sun. Impact goes in, tanks up the turrets for a while. He'll drop there. Someday's able to stay alive. And Liquid gets a little bit audacious here, apparently. Doublelift looking to find the damage. Can't get Cody. And they will not be able to end just yet.
Afromu's alive, and Ryu coming up in 1 second on the rise. They would have to get out of there, or else they would be chased down. But Team Liquid, the damage is done. They've broken inside the base, and the only pieces remain.
8K, 24 minutes in. That is a lead, and it's not one you can easily overcome. The Thieves are at the death knell.
100 Thieves. They have to find a miracle here for the TL. That was clean. You saw the pull in as Olay threw down the ultimate at the same time to make sure, even though Someday gets a great one himself.
Yeah, at the end there, he's able to knock them into the inhibitor itself. Pobelter goes down there, which actually is quite big in 100 Thieves, keeping their Nexus alive.
This has just been an insane game. It started off with Someday getting 2 kills, starting off with 3. Down onto Impact, he was half the CS of this Gnar top, and then TL are able to rally, and the carries are now going crazy.
Exactly. It wasn't 100% win. This was a weakness for Team Liquid on one side of the map, yet still, they rally around the bottom side, create their own advantages, and just pull themselves back into it.
Mountain Drake #1 this game. I don't even know how many Drakes this is. This team has controlled now over the course of this series, but I do know it's all of them. They grab it, no contest. They're still up 8,000 gold. They've still got all the control they could ever want in this game, and now they'll push down the bottom lane. There's still a turret standing outside of the enemy base for them to take, and if 100 Thieves want to defend it, the defense has to be perfect.
Time is definitely running out for them. They're going to need to draw over Caitlyn, lay down some traps if they want to make a stand here. Luckily for them, as you said, Someday still has the lead on Gnar, so the split push should be able to hold. The problem is, down here, the 4-man squad.
Yeah, the 4-man squad and that mid lane, the inhibitor being down, it's almost like another person is pushing mid for Team Liquid. It has to be answered. You can see Ryu, he pulls off, and that's why the rest have to back up.
Smithy constantly threatening that pull. Nobody can afford to be pulled right now on 100 Thieves. Even the tanks, they're so far behind. If you get pulled, you're out.
Yeah, Someday even recalled early for a possible chance here for 100 Thieves to try and find an opening.
Oh, he got double lift. Double lift in some trouble. That could be the pick right there that puts him back in the game. But Ole on the front line, throwing up the unbreakable. Double lift opens up the curtain call. Afromu going to be shot 2 times, 3 times. Cody's son's going to drop. And Team Liquid finds their fight. Ryu's on the run.
Ole
the rest of Liquid following up. Ole still on that front line.
They have
trying
minions.
to end this game. The minions already on to the Nexus turrets. This could very well be where the game ends. Team Liquid, they had to stop a little bit short on the last push, but they've still got everyone here now. It continues. Someday's in the Mega Gnar form. He's got the ultimate, but what chance do you have against the 5-man team of Liquid? The pull comes through. The suppression is down. The Mega Gnar backwards, but it's not going to do a thing. Someday now the target on the front line. A double kill for double lift. Ryu is the last man standing, but he shall not stand for long. They've all been to the final stage before, and now they'll be there victorious together as Team Liquid are your North American LCS Spring Split champions.
In this historic first season of franchise play, Team Liquid will take their place amongst the old guard to be remembered forever.
And you can see everyone on stage absolutely elated at that victory, including the staff. They went through so much, a year of 9th place finishes to come out here as the champions. That is redemption for them, redemption for their fans, and proof that the decisions they made were the right ones.
The first team in 2.5 years to fly a new flag over the North American LCS. They do it in style, 3-0 over the next best team, and Team Liquid deserve this win here today.
We saw Afromu hugging his old teammate Double Lift. There is honor among Thieves, but for Team Liquid, right now, they are the kings.
Ceremonious hoist of the trophy by the entirety of the team. What a moment for these guys. How much they've worked for this split. We talked about how those big off-season roster moves, everyone was hyped about them. Things looked a little rough along the way, but they rallied, they took down some of the top contenders during playoffs, and they found the win today.
And they made it look so good. 3-0 and a quick 3-0 here from Team Liquid. Even getting down at times in multiple games, and 100 Thieves having opportunities, creating opportunities. Whew.
And you can see Ole dancing in the confetti. The man everyone else on the team has a championship to their name in one league or another. Ole has played in 4 different regions, and this is his first championship.
He's been to the stage before, but he's never got to hold that trophy. Now he does. It has to feel fantastic for him, as it does for the entirety of this team, to find what they found here today.
And now they'll represent North America at the mid-season invitational. And with a performance like that, with a 27-minute game, a 26 and a 29-minute game in the finals, a clean 3-0, that's what you want to see from the team that will be representing you at that tournament.
And like we said, this is the first time this team has ever won a split, which means this is their first time going as the North American representative at MSI.
Man, you see Double Lift on your screen, the first NALCS player to win 3 championships on 3 different teams.
To hear now about this historic victory, let's send it over to Avli and Team Liquid's owner.